In this video today, guys, I'm going to dive into the world of Cardano and specifically talk about why I think that Cardano's ADA is an investment opportunity of a lifetime. Now, it's at this point I will stress that I am not a financial advisor, nor is Chris, so it's important that you do your own research. And in this video, I'm going to dive into why I think Cardano is worth investing in and why I have such a heavy investment with ADA. If you find this video useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then do subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and you won't miss another update that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, with all that said, done and out of the way, let's dive down to the desktop and start talking about what is going on here with Cardano and why I am so bullish. Okay guys, so the first thing we're going to talk about is obviously the smart contract capabilities. These have just launched on chain, and this is a fantastic milestone that has now been achieved by Cardano. We can obviously see that this actually went live on the 12th, okay? So Cardano has now got these smart contract functionalities and capabilities. The Alonzo mainnet upgrade went live, and it was fantastic. We saw the tweet from 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗘𝗡𝗡. And this is a great milestone for Cardano. This now means that you're able to run smart contracts on the ecosystem. This is a huge milestone that will now start seeing decentralized applications get kind of built and put across the line on the ecosystem. So anything from NFTs through to DeFi are now capable. Obviously, things do work slightly differently on the Cardano ecosystem, as highlighted by 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 when he was on the show for an interview around �SingularityNet, a project that is building on the Cardano ecosystem and that was formerly on the Ethereum ecosystem. We'll get into more of that in a moment. But overall, this is a fantastic milestone that's going to start seeing a lot more, I guess, transactional volume and adoption of the blockchain overall. So this is a huge milestone for Cardano. So hats off to the team. With that being said, this is just the beginning of some many things that are going to come in the very near future. So when we actually take a look at a little bit deeper, we can see that within the first 24 hours, we've had 100 contracts, smart contracts, actually built on the Cardano ecosystem, and it's only growing from there. So this is a fantastic way to see the use of Cardano and ever changing. So I'm not going to go into detail on this one, but I did find that was a nice interesting kind of I guess fact for us to say that within 24 hours we've seen 100 smart contracts on the Cardano ecosystem. So pretty good stuff going on there, and really impressed with everything that's being delivered so far. But obviously from here we obviously have to talk about some dApps, right? And ultimately there's a lot of decentralized applications that have been built on the Cardano ecosystem, and this is just so far there are over 60 of them. Okay, so currently there are 60 apps built on the ecosystem at the moment, and there's going to be many more. And so this is a huge thing, right? Because obviously one of those kind of FUD articles that's been circulating around, and the FUD argument for such a long time is that it's a ghost chain. It's got nothing built on it. It doesn't warrant the market capitalization that it has, etc., right? And we obviously have to understand that market capitalization, first of all, is meaningless. I don't know why people seem to get so confused about that, but they do. But ultimately, the market cap that it has is completely irrelevant, because market cap is just the circulating supply multiplied by the price, the last sold price at that. So it doesn't actually give you an underlying value or anything like that to that effect. So it's not about whether or not the market cap is high or not. It's more about what vision is there and the community that are going into it, right? And it's not for you or me or anyone else to say that it is worth less or more than it currently is. Ultimately, it's worth whatever someone is willing to pay for it, and that's the fundamental basics of it. So to see so many apps actually being built on the ecosystem so soon, which is really good to see. Many more to come. And some of those kind of FUD things that we've been hearing about for the last few years, whether being ghost chain and various things like that, then ultimately we can put them to rest, because that simply isn't the case anymore. Recently, obviously, there was a lot of FUD around concurrency. Again, all of that has to be squished out. Basically, we're talking about the differences between programming languages and different kind of approaches to decentralized finance and transactions in general, right? Obviously, the Solidity language, as 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 says, gives you a lot of rope to hang yourself with. Whereas over on Cardano, you have obviously Haskell, you have Marlowe, and these things actually make it harder to write insecure code, right? So ultimately, there's different ways of working, and developers will have to get on board with this, and will have to kind of figure out how to write things in a way that's actually secure rather than insecure, and no shortcutting, right? Actually, there are ways to do these things, and there's the proper way, and then there's the shortcut way, right? And this isn't a get rich quick. This is Cardano, Charles Hoskinson, and the team have spent time to do the research to get it peer reviewed and then build something based on that data rather than just rushing a product to market. When you rush a product to market, you have problems. People lose millions upon billions of dollars, and potentially networks have to be put on pause whilst issues are solved. Sometimes you have such huge scalability issues that you can't even fix them for years to come, right? So ultimately, it's almost better to take the time to be analytical about it and actually have a peer-reviewed approach. That's where Cardano has really come in, and tell you what, it seems to have worked really well so far. So they're definitely onto a bit of a winner. So overall, applications are being built now on the ecosystem, and it's fantastic to see. From here, though, it's only really a short kind of hop across to see what else has been going on. I talk about this one all the time, but over 100 companies are set to shift from the Ethereum ecosystem to the Cardano ecosystem. Now, this is a huge milestone in itself, because obviously the strategic direction that Cardano has gone in and the way that it has been built, and some of the side chains and things like that have actually been put into place to enable the easy transfer from Ethereum to the Cardano ecosystem, right? So obviously you have the ERC20 converter, quite notably is one of probably the biggest kind of things really in terms of being able to migrate from Ethereum to Cardano as a huge milestone. But obviously is the EVM as well, right? The Ethereum virtual machine running on a side chain. So again, it's quite a very simple thing to move over from the Ethereum ecosystem to the Cardano ecosystem. And as a result of that, you're going to start seeing, a significant higher throughput in terms of scalability than what you currently have on Ethereum. You're going to see it being more secure because obviously it's a more secure language than Solidity. And then, of course, to top it all off, it's going to be a hell of a lot cheaper than those expensive fees that you're paying with the Ethereum. So it makes sense that over 100 companies want to take their business away from the more expensive, slow network that's really insecure over to a more secure, faster and cheaper network. It just makes freaking sense, right? So ultimately, that's what I'm seeing here. This is a huge milestone. We're going to start seeing some really big players, I do think, migrate over to the Cardano ecosystem. It just makes sense that they would do so. One that always comes to mind is Celsius. They pay the fees on Ethereum for their users, and they could save themselves a lot of money by migrating to Cardano. And above and beyond that, they could increase the rates that you can get using the application as a user just by moving to the Cardano ecosystem. Therefore, all the users of Celsius would benefit massively from the migration, as well as, of course, the business itself. So ultimately, this is a huge thing. I think this is something that gets overlooked so much because we often think there's so many applications built on Ethereum, and it is true there are, but only a handful of them, the big ones, actually drive the majority of the Ethereum ecosystem from a value perspective, right? If that value moves away from Ethereum, Ethereum's got a lot of small projects on it that actually doesn't turn over too much. So ultimately, that migration of the big players over to the Cardano ecosystem would seriously shake up this space. So that being said, I think this is something we all have to understand, and I think it's something that we're going to start seeing a lot more notifications from, and a lot more kind of news kind of flagging up with people migrating from Ethereum to Cardano. The next thing we want to talk about, of course, is the Africa, right? Continent of Africa is a massive deal when it comes to people who are actually embracing blockchain technology, and Cardano at the forefront of this. They've obviously got a governmental deal with Ethiopia, which is going to be seeing the educational system completely refined and ultimately see millions of people on board onto the Cardano ecosystem. This is another milestone for blockchain technology as a whole, and a huge milestone for Cardano. It's basically a vision for a decentralized Africa. I know Chris talks about this all the time. It's the biggest blockchain deal ever with Ethiopia, and the Ministry of Education, input, output, will create a blockchain-based digital identity for 5 million students and teachers. This is the biggest blockchain deployment anywhere in the world, okay? So this is huge stuff. But again, we can take a look, there's the 𝗕𝗪𝗔𝗀𝗰, obviously. I'm not going to go into all the detail of this, but obviously with Africa, we go a step further. We talk about Tanzania and a few other places in Africa with World Mobile, another project that is built on the Cardano ecosystem, affecting and changing millions of people's lives through technology. So it is, again, huge things that we cannot forget and do not want to forget, because we are making significant changes in the world with the Cardano ecosystem. And as an investor in Cardano, you are helping with that effort, right? We, as ADA holders, delegating ADA into state pools, or even like we do on this channel, run a validator. And guys, this video has been sponsored by 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏𝗍, and specifically the Cardano ADA pool. If you are looking to support the channel and our effort here to communicate out all the recent kind of news, articles, price changes and price action of your favorite altcoins, then there's no better way than delegating your ADA into our stake pool. By doing so, you'll not only support the channel, but you will also earn a juicy return and a nice passive income on your ADA holdings. It's really simple to do, guys. Just load up your 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗠𝗘𝗥𝗦 or Deadliest wallet, drop your ADA into the wallet, and then find the 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏𝗍 pool via the ticker 𝗕𝗘. In doing so, you'll earn a nice juicy return and support the channel. There is no better time to do so, so why not delegate to 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏𝗍 today? We are helping with the decentralization effort of the network, helping to secure the network, helping to confirm transactions on the network. And we are rewarded with additional ADA for our efforts there. And obviously, the more people and the more adoption that we get for Cardano, the bigger the prize will be at the end of the day. So overall, as an investor, Cardano makes a lot of sense with this one here. But obviously, to talk about all of these things is something we haven't spoken about yet. And it's a critical piece to the puzzle. And that is where we have to get that scalability, right? Because we can talk about being cheap and we can talk about being fast and secure. But ultimately, we also need to be able to adapt to millions of people on chain. And this is where the scalability comes in and where the 𝗕𝗓𝗔𝗡 solution comes in. We are looking forward to seeing a prototype on this later in the year. And I think this is going to be quite an interesting one. Ultimately, 𝗕𝗓𝗔𝗡 is based on the concept that one head can process 1,000 transactions. And obviously, a head in the case of 𝗕𝗓𝗔𝗡 here would represent a node. And considering that Cardano is the world's most decentralized network, i.e. there are a lot of nodes, each node could process 1,000 transactions per second. As a result, you could quite easily and pretty comfortably get to 1 million transactions per second, which would be your scalability in a very secure, very cheap, and fast blockchain technology. So overall, we can obviously compare this to many of the other blockchains in the space, although it would be very hard to actually come across one that would be near or close to it. There are a couple, but I'm not going to mention any names on this particular channel here. And what we are going to talk about is really focusing on just Visa. Visa is obviously a huge network that processes 150 million transactions every single day. It's approximately 2,000 transactions per second. So we start thinking about the kind of scalability that Visa needs on its network. We can obviously put that to bed and say, well, this 𝗕𝗓𝗔𝗡 solution, when implemented later down the line, will see significant impact to the ecosystem for that scalability that you do not see when it comes to something like the Ethereum ecosystem. So when we couple all of this together and we think about where Cardano is going, the future is incredibly bright. I do see Cardano as a key project to be invested in and something that I do want exposure to long term. Obviously, we are in a bull run right now where we do think Cardano is likely to go up towards that $10 range, which would put it around that $320 billion market cap. Although market cap doesn't mean anything, I know a lot of people will relate to that. It is lower than that of Ethereum right now and very much achievable. With that being done, though, I do expect a small pullback during the bear market before we absolutely go for a huge surge in 2025 to the upside overall. So as an investor in Cardano and as a validator for the ecosystem, I think this project is something that I want to be keeping a close eye on, something I definitely want exposure to long term, and something I have true vision for when I see the world changing around me for the better. Overall, I'm pleased and happy with my ADA investments, and I'm happy that I got in super early. With that being said, even right now feels super cheap for where I do think this is likely to go in the future. Guys, I'm going to leave that video here, but you can see why I am so bullish on this project. There's so much going on with it. So many fantastic things that I do think this project is going to do in the world. So overall, I'm really happy. Guys, if you found this video useful and informative, then do hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then do subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything. With this said, done, and out of the way, I hope you will have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.